Honourable Member for Dennery North.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to make a very brief contribution to the debate on the Airport Development Bill. But Madam Speaker, in much the same way you granted the latitude to the Member of Parliament for Castries North to preface his contribution on the bill by acknowledging the presence this morning of the members from the St. Lucia National Council for Differently Abled Persons, I want to take the opportunity, Madam Speaker, to say that since the last time we met as a Parliament, there have been a number of developments in our country that I seek your permission to mention very briefly as a preface to my contribution to the debate on the bill. I will mention just three, Madam Speaker. Firstly, I want to commend the Royal St. Lucia Police Force for successfully staging Police Week 2017, the highlight of which, Madam Speaker, for me, was a church service held at the St. Michael Roman Catholic Church in my constituency, which was immediately followed by an absolutely flawless parade in the same community to the delight and enjoyment of onlookers, myself included. Madam Speaker, also last week, they held the Miss Police and Allied Services pageant, and that was won by a constituent of mine representing the Pridia-Lassini unit in the Ministry of Agriculture. And so, Madam Speaker, I think it is fitting today to commend Commissioner Mosheri, his deputies, Ms. Henry, Mr. Daisy, and of course the 4 assistant commissioners, as well as all the other hardworking police officers whose duty it has been to keep us safe in this country. Secondly, Madam Speaker, I want to take the opportunity to congratulate on my personal behalf and on behalf of the entire sports fraternity of our country, a 16-year-old cricketer from the community of Bogis, constituency Babono, who is a student of the Babono Secondary School. He goes by the name of Kimani Melius, Madam Speaker. Kimani has been selected onto the West Indies under-19 team to represent the West Indies, Madam Speaker, in the Youth World Cup scheduled to bowl off in New Zealand next month. Finally, Madam Speaker, I want to congratulate the hundreds of students from the Sahafa Louis Community College who graduated from that institution on Sunday. Madam Speaker, it was rather disappointing, and as I walked through the crowd, you could have heard the expressions of disappointment from those in attendance at the fact that there was not a single government minister in attendance. But be that as it may, Madam Speaker, I want to wish all the young students who graduated all the best in their future endeavors. Madam Speaker, as it relates to the Airport Development Bill, I want to state from the outset that I support any program that is meant to improving the existing airport in Beaufort. Madam Speaker, I firmly believe that there is a need for improvement. However, when the United Workers' Party came into office, Madam Speaker, in 2016, they found an existing arrangement, a financing modality, which in my opinion, Madam Speaker, offered more to St. Lucia as a financing option than what we are entertaining today. And Madam Speaker, in my very brief presentation, I will attempt as much as possible to reiterate some of the points that were made by the colleagues on this side who spoke before me. Madam Speaker, the Prime Minister is on record as stating that the country is broke. This is not a new phenomenon. It is something that we alluded to when we were in government. So we are not surprised and we're not ascribing blame to anybody in terms of the financial situation that confronts our country today. But if an additional loan, Madam Speaker, of over $400 million, Madam Speaker, that cannot be in the best interest of the people of St. Lucia. Madam Speaker, the PPP arrangement, or the public-private partnership arrangement that we spoke about as an administration, is a modality that is being embraced by countries all over the world. And when you research airport development, Madam Speaker, with a specific focus on the financing arrangements, you will, Madam Speaker, discover that the PPP arrangement is the preferred option to finance. And Madam Speaker, while engaging in some research and making a comparative analysis in terms of the different financing options available to countries, Madam Speaker, I was astonished to see that countries such as India, one of the leading economies in Asia and of the world, Madam Speaker, have given even new meaning to the PPP approach in relation to financing airports. And there is a lot that can be deciphered, Madam Speaker. There's a lot that you can chew on when you look at the different airports that have been upgraded in places like India and the benefits that they were able to derive from the PPP arrangement. Madam Speaker, if an additional loan of over $400 million, not only will it further exacerbate an already bad debt situation for the country, Madam Speaker, but that particular borrowing option can be used to do so much, Madam Speaker. That borrowing option, Madam Speaker, can be used to commission the hospitals that we've not been able to commission as a country. And in much the same way we've said that we are not going to politicize crime, I believe healthcare too, Madam Speaker, should never be treated as a political football. And that when the hospitals, if commissioned or when commissioned, they can only benefit St. Lucians. And illnesses, ailments, injuries do not come upon people because or based on your affiliation. And so, Madam Speaker, I'm saying in an environment where the cash flow of the government is already so depleted, I would prefer the government of the day, Madam Speaker, embracing the PPP, where that extra financing burden is not placed on our people, but instead, Madam Speaker, it is shared with a private entity, thereby giving us greater spending flexibility in terms of the monies that we're able to raise. Madam Speaker, very recently I was told by a very senior person in the public service that the Ministry of Finance has actually instructed, or they've hinted that programs to be financed by bonds may not happen because of the situation on the market. And I'm saying this, Madam Speaker, vis-a-vis an additional $400 million that we are going to borrow to construct an airport. We have hospitals, Madam, 2 hospitals, as I said, Madam Speaker, that are yet to be commissioned. We have facilities that are in dilapidated states. We have roads, Madam Speaker, that are in chronic states of disrepair. And Madam Speaker, all I am trying to impress upon the minds of colleagues in this honorable House is that to borrow an additional $400 million to finance an airport is not the best way to proceed in this particular situation. I said at the beginning that I support any move whatsoever to rehabilitate, to upgrade, and to modernize the airport. We need it. We need to give character to the airport. And somebody said earlier this morning that the airport is the first point of interface with visitors and the destination. And Madam Speaker, I'm always happy to know that St. Lucia can take the lead on the sub-regional level and at the regional level. And if we are lagging behind in terms of airport infrastructure, Madam Speaker, I believe that this too is justification for the upgrade that we're looking at. But to put an additional $400 million on the existing debt portfolio cannot be in the best interest of our country. Madam Speaker, the previous arrangement for financing the airport, which we met when we came in to government, was one that we decided to do away with, because after carefully examining all the critical components of that arrangement, we thought that it was inimical to the people of St. Lucia, and that is why we opted for a PPP. But today, Madam Speaker, one has to ask the question, what is the motivation? What is the motive? Why is it that this government is so hell-bent on resorting to an arrangement that had already been discredited? Madam Speaker, in the process of foregoing the PPP which they found there, I'm being told that St. Lucia has been asked to pay a penalty to the IFC of over $1 million US. And in an environment, as I said, where money is hard to come by, there's a lot that we can use $100 million US to do in our respective constituencies as parliamentarians and in a country, Madam Speaker, where there is so much to be done and where the people are demanding so much of the government. So, Madam Speaker, comme on dit, ça là, moi ka supporter plan gouvernement pour bâtir un aéroport neuf, moi ka supporter gouvernement pour plan yoni ko yo vle faire aéroport la plus bien passé. Mais ça moi ka dit Madam Speaker, c'est manière gouvernement ka acheter l'argent pour faire aéroport là, ça c'est une bagaille manière difficulté et puis et que le gouvernement a pris un loan qui a coûté nous plus que 400 millions de dollars. Le gouvernement supposé de chaîne arrangement yo joindre là côté l'argent pour faire aéroport pas de caille seulement en dette par le gouvernement nous, mais ça c'est un arrangement nous de caille essayer travail et puis en compagnie privée pour faire aéroport là plus meilleur passé hier. Mais moi je voulais dire Madame Speaker on behalf tout Jordan Renouf qui vraiment ici à pour parler bayo that moi ka supporter pour nous rebâtir airport là mais le gouvernement ni pour garder qui manière yo ka joindre l'argent ça et pour être plus que 400 millions de dollars moi pas quoi ça en l'intérieur pays nous à dans temps que nous tous ha comprendre et que nous tous ha d'accord that gouvernement pas ni un pile l'argent pour faire chaque c'est là moun vle gouvernement faire. With these few words Madam Speaker I conclude my presentation.